Welcome back to Rational Programming. On last week's show, there were four terms that I wanted to discuss. Those terms were SDKs, Firebase, routers, and SASS. I just wanted to get a deeper understanding of those terms as I was using them in the project and started coding last week. So, today's episode, I want to discuss the first topic, which will be SASS. SASS stands for Syntactically Awesome Style Sheets. It's an extension of CSS which adds nested rules, mix-ins, variables, and selector inheritance. Why use SASS? If you've ever used CSS before, then you're familiar with having to copy whole blocks of code over to other elements in order for those elements to have the same cascading styles. CSS can be very hairy and disorganized, so SASS helps us organize this clutter, making our code into specific modules and distinct pieces of code. Also, the syntax of SASS is really easy to learn if you're familiar with CSS. Another important use of SASS is the use of variables and other similar features. This is important because SASS allows us to reuse our code. And if you know anything about programmers, is we don't like to repeat our code. So that's another important factor of using SASS, is that it allows us in a modulistic way be able to reuse our code, whether it be in a different area of the project or in a completely different project altogether. And lastly, SASS is maintained by a very mature and stable tech community as well. In conclusion, it was really important for me to download SASS and use it in my projects. I had a hard time for some reason downloading SASS into my React app because I had a problem with identifying the correct version that needed to be downloaded that was compatible with my Windows environment. And so it was totally worth the stress of finally getting it downloaded, even though it was in a different project, simply because now in any future projects and in the project I'm currently doing, the estate agency app, I know that when I decide to add SASS to the project, styling to the project, it will be far more modulistic and easier to maintain as well and robust as well. So it was totally worth the stress of downloading SASS and also taking the time to really get a better understanding of why it works, how it works, and how it will be able to help me in the future. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's show and our discussion about SASS. I really did. And I look forward to seeing you next week as we introduce the definition of what an SDK is and how it relates to using Firebase. So I'll see you guys next week on another show of Rational Programming.